Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lizard Brains podcast. I'm your host, DJ Alessandrini. I'm joined by my co-host, Tom O'Gorman. Tom, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm okay. I am, you know what? You know what's crazy? I didn't really have a hangover from the autocross this weekend, and I don't know why.
Interesting.
I don't know what I did different.
Wasn't it like an 8-hour drive both ways?
Yeah, and it was like 90 degrees and like 80% humidity and all that. I should have had a terrible hangover on Monday. I felt fine. I don't know what I did different.
Or a bad thing? You didn't miss it? You didn't miss being there or what?
I don't know. Well, no. I mean, look, my second run. All right, let's back up a little bit. I did the Bristol National Tour this last weekend. But my second run, day 2, having completely flubbed the first one. And the whole event was on the line on this one run. And it's like challenging conditions. And, they made it from a 3-run to a 2-run format because there was a bunch of delays because of flooding. That was a freaking intense ass autocross run. Like,
I bet.
Like I felt it. I literally would have been dead last or first. Like those were the two options. So yeah, I felt like all the pressure dealing with like coping mechanisms that I've like developed over the years, which is mostly just breathing. Like I went for it. I remember around this time last year, I talked about like a drying conditions run on day 2 where I had like a lead in day 1 and I was like bummed that I didn't just go for it and I was worried about losing. Remember this? When I was going up against James Yam in D Street at the Chicago Tour?
Remember.
I remember it very vividly because I lived it, but I remember being in situations where it's like the only run that matters is the last run and like it's like a very challenging pressure cooker situation when it's like literally comes down to one run or you lose, and it all comes down to like this one thing, and you just have to execute on whatever it is. Well, I had a situation like that at Chicago last year, where I had a pretty good size day 1 lead, but everything's just practice for nationals. And the Chicago National Tour, there was like 10 people in class or whatever, and it was just me and James Yam and then like everyone else. And I had enough of a lead where like I could kind of cash it in, but I wanted to get over like the mental hurdle of, because at nationals, if I came into that situation, you can't just like rely on your day 1 lead. Somebody else will get you, right? If there's enough people in your class, like you can't, unless you had like just this killer day 1 lead, but like honestly, like that hardly ever happens if the class is big enough. And I was like almost, I don't know if ashamed of myself is the right word, but I was not very happy with my day 2 run because I kind of cashed in on like my day 1 lead and was just like, okay, that's enough. Yep, I won. But like I didn't go for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does for sure.
Okay, because everything's practice for nationals, right? And to get over that mental hurdle, like not relying on the lead in the scenario or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like if that was the only event, then you rely on the lead, you drive smart, you do what you need to do, right? But in my mind, I was like, this is practice for nationals. You can't just sit on like some margin because somebody else will get you. And this event, literally probably like the same situation, even more pressure. And I went for it. And I'm proud of that. I was completely fine with losing or winning. And it allowed me to do like a pretty good last run. And I think I measured the aggression correctly. But I didn't like cash in on a day 1 lead. I just did the run that I wanted to do, basically.
Yep. It all boils down to every run is the same.
Yeah, kind of.
It doesn't matter what the event is for. It doesn't matter what your car, like
you're just trying to extract. Yeah, you're just trying to do your best, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten pretty good at that with circumstances. Like the circumstance was you had one less run than you were expecting. There was water all over the track course. There was a first. Did you spin? I was watching live timing and I saw the time was like, whoa, what happened there?
So I hit a cone like right in the beginning, and then I was like,
Oh,
okay, let's experiment and like see what works, right? Because obviously
yeah.
this won't be the one that I sit on. And then every experiment went terribly. And it was like, I must have looked like a freaking novice out there because I'm like, can I break this? Like, oh no, absolutely not. I missed the whole corner. Okay. Can I break after this puddle or like, and it was like, oh, nope. I'm going through the whole freaking wall. Okay. It was like, I just look like a fucking disaster. So anybody working
Yeah.
course, I'm sorry. All those cones you had to clean up. Anybody who was like, who's in that car? It was me. I'm the problem. Uh, it was not, I felt like, unfortunately, in that first run where I like, as soon as I hit that cone, I'm like, I'm gonna learn some stuff. I did learn some stuff. I learned what not to do, but I learned zero of what to do,
Yeah.
which made going into the final run like way harder, right? Because I had no bearing of like what I could do because I like overshot everything. Thankfully, I like stressed to Peter. I'm like, Peter, go out there. You have to execute a good first run. I gotta see what it looks like. And Peter did a great first run. And I got to watch the video and have some kind of basis of what you can get away with and what you can't. Because what was happening is we'd run through the water. The water was no problem. You just drive through the water. It was immediately after the water. Like, how long does the course stay slippery? How long are the tires wet? Because it was just this river that was like flowing through the middle of the lot. So you would see it twice in the course. And the way the car behaved afterwards, like I got no bearing on that because I completely flubbed like both of those times through it to the point where I didn't even know. I'm like, I'm going in blind. And everyone else, like that, that was remotely close to me after day one, they did it. They've had clean runs on the first one. Like they're looking sweet. Like they're gonna go drop a time on the second one, and I'm going in freaking blind. So I just have to like go for it, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was I felt the pressure. I was breathing like I just got into like a fight afterwards. I was like, like I was like growling like in the car, like
Foaming at the mouth.
yeah, it was so intense, Tom. And like I was happy with how the run went. I think if I got a third run, I could have probably definitely dropped some more time. Just with just like having another shot at it, seeing where I messed up and where I could clean up and smooth things out and like getting a better feel for when the tires actually start to like have the water fall off of them.
Yeah.
But in like that situation, like that was a freaking that's what autocross is to me, is like nothing makes that intensity except autocross. And yeah, that was intense. And by the time I calmed myself down, by the time I like got out of the car and was like, oh yeah, oh no problem or whatever. But I'm telling you, Tom, I'm telling the audience right now, it felt fucking intense in the car. Like when I got out of that, like when I finished up the run and I'm looking around, I'm like, is there a cone? Is there a cone? I couldn't hear the announcer. Peter holds up a finger, like pointer finger into the top, and then he realized what he was doing, and then he put a thumbs up, and I was like, oh, thank God.
One what?
Yeah, one what? Me number one or one cone? I don't know.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I was so grateful for Peter for putting together that really good first run that he did. So I had some bearing, like looking at his video to understand what I could do, because after my first run, I was like, oh my God, where do I even start? Like after that, because I was so far off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So teamwork.
I wanted to, when I said I got good at handling the circumstance, I want to finish the thought on that because
yeah, go ahead.
That only
please.
came after I won my first championship for autocross. I'm pretty good at it for everything now, but it took a long time with mental game stuff. And that's that part of it I wish I could bottle, that I always talk about, like that sense of like, it doesn't matter what run it is. It doesn't matter what event it is. It doesn't matter if it's nationals or the littlest local you've ever been to. Like the activity is the same. And if you do the steps that you need to do, like it sounds like you nailed that, right? I don't know if that's maybe not focusing on the result as much, whatever it is. Like if you can work on that part of the mentality, listener, and kind of like make that part of your,
it's tough though, right?
Whenever I feel the pressure, I do just focus on breathing. I do just like, I make sure that I'm focused on just like really chill, relaxed breaths. I'm sure there's some studies about or you know, some science behind if you do some box breathing or you do some breathing exercises that
Maybe,
help
yeah,
calm you down.
maybe there's an optimal breathing, but I breathe in deep and let it out and breathe in deep. I'm just trying to get like as
Yeah,
much oxygen to my body as possible. And I know I like my trigger to do that is when I feel like the physical side effects of feeling pressure. So like maybe
yeah.
you feel it like in the back of your neck, or like you feel like tightness in your elbows, or maybe your hands or wrist or something. Like you just feel like you feel, I don't know what that is. That might like be blood pressure. I have no idea. Or adrenaline, something. I don't know what the physical feeling actually manifests from. But everyone will feel that differently. And when that happens to me, that's like a cue that I need to breathe. Like the same thing will happen if I haven't driven a car on track in a while. Uh, my legs will shake like as I'm driving, and that
Interesting.
that to me is an indication that I just need to like get a bunch of like oxygen in my body to like stop the shaky legs. I like mostly feel it on the clutch. Like if I push the clutch in, I'll feel like my leg like kind of doing like a uh,
Sure.
um it's not like I'm like driving down and my like throttle is like, though if I'm feeling like way too excited, then like maybe that will happen, but it's been a while since I've been that rusty and driving on track.
Sure.
Uh
Sure.
but yeah, I take that also as a cue. Like I just need to really just get some oxygen into this body. So I've brought that up to other people, so I know that that's not just a me thing of like the shaky legs, like while on a racetrack. I think you're just an animal, Tom. Uh, but like the breathing, like it helps calm that, and then you like you know you don't have to have, because what that is it's a symptom that adrenaline or blood pressure or something is impacting your body. And
Yep.
in a competition or on track or whatever, that's not a great state to be in. So if we can breathe to alleviate those like physical side effects, you're also alleviating like the things that we aren't noticing about ourselves.
The other thing I try really hard, so if I notice I'm feeling sensation of pressure or you know, whatever that feeling is, I said breathing, and then I also try really hard to not think of things not to do. Like, especially if
Yeah.
say it's this situation, like, if you were thinking about that next run for the after the mistake covered run with like, "Okay, don't do that, don't do that, and don't do that."
Yeah, that would never work.
Horrible thought process, like
Yes,
that,
terrible.
and I fall into that thing, it's like, as long as I don't do that. You have to, like,
Yeah.
it's just shifting the word slightly, or it's shifting to a different part, like, I don't have to do anything different except that one, and all I have to do there is, instead of "Don't do this," you know? I Those are the 2 things I definitely do plenty, and it's mostly at autocross. I don't think you get pressure in the same way with any sort of road course competition, just because it's a little more extended. Like, the time frame is a little more extended, so the pressure, the intensity isn't as,
I
you know,
remember.
maybe the getting set up for your flying lap if you're, like, in qualifying or time attack or something. I just can't
Maybe.
think of an equivalent.
I remember one time, it was my first time winning a GLTC race, and Katil was right behind me, and he was behind me the whole race, and I felt the pressure from that, and I think my legs were shaking at some point during that, so I just like I just was doing the breathing on the straightaways. I was just huffing oxygen as much as I could, and then like it went away. But I noticed that like physical side effect, and then I was able to like calm it down. I notice it. I get more. Honestly, I get more nervous sim racing
Yeah, same.
than ever in a real car, except autocross. And that like the nervousness on a sim rig has helped me a lot with like dealing with the physical side effects of nerves, and like just figuring out a way past that. And like we've covered, now for 14 minutes, breathing, like just breathe.
Mhm.
That literally does 90% of it, and then you're like in a nice stable place and you can like relax.
Yep.
Um, but I remember when I was doing the Spec MX5 thing, like before the finals, I felt it. I felt it like in my eyeballs. Like I felt like so nervous. Um, that I was just breathing super hard before like each green flag. Because I wanted to win that thing so bad. Uh, and sometimes when I feel pressure so much, my pinky goes numb. Just my pinky
Huh.
though. So I've had that happen in
Interesting.
sim races. Yeah. So, but these are all like side effects of like when I know that like my body feels a lot of stress. And then always it's like, oh crap, like I feel that and I'm not like, oh no, I'm stressed. I'm like, oh, I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe. Like I gotta really just bring in some oxygen, and then these physical side effects will go away. Because I think, and here's the point that I want the listeners to take away is when we feel those things, we might not necessarily know that it's affecting us. But if there are any physical side effects, it's definitely affecting our clarity of mind, the muscle mind connection, the fluidity, the relying on instincts, all that stuff's affected because you're too stressed. Your RPM, your like metaphorical, like what RPM you need to run at is too high. So that's why we need to do the breathing to bring it down into our optimal state to compete.
Yep, definitely. Speaking of intense, how was camping?
Oh, I did not camp. Are you kidding me?
I thought you said you were camping.
No, I would have got swept away in the flood if you didn't hear it.
I could have sworn you said you were going down and camping this weekend.
If I was
Christine was like, no, you're not. And I was like, no, that sucks.
If I was camping, it would have been where the flood happened. So fucking good thing. I keep dropping F-bombs. Sorry, children.
Who cares?
I am so glad I didn't. I would have literally been like, I'm like, wow, it's really raining outside. Am I floating?
That's funny. Well, I'm glad you had fun and congrats on your win.
Thanks.
And good job on your mental game. I didn't do, like I said, I had no motorsports this weekend. I was fine with that, but I am itching now. I have the itch. I did have a couple little things for the rest of the year that popped up, like opportunities that I'm just going to share because you're my friend and I want to tell you about them. So I got an email from SCCA, the new lead for track night, like the national manager for track night emailed me, and they're trying to put together a 2-event track night at Mid-Ohio in October on a Friday. I don't think the registration's open yet. I don't know if that means it's not confirmed yet, but if it is confirmed, I'll be there and I'll be the lead. Allison, she's amazing.
I'll also be there, Tom. I was asked to come help.
Oh, you were? Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm your boss for that day.
Woo! Well, I'm only going to be there for the afternoon because I don't have any vacation time. But
sure. Okay.
I literally said, "Oh, sorry, I can't help, but I would love to. I don't have any vacation time, but like, if you need somebody in the afternoon, like, let me know." And they're like, "Sweet, see you there." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm going."
Okay. That'll be. I was literally going to be like, you should bring your car down and do one of the morning or afternoon sessions. So I'll be at Mid-Ohio. That's October 9th. And then I was like, well, that's got to be right before a road race weekend because they wouldn't just have one on a Friday for no reason.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's like the last Ohio Valley region club race weekend. And I was thinking about like, maybe there's a way to get in a car, but I don't have the money to rent a car. I actually emailed a B-Spec person about renting a car, and it's like $3,000 plus a $15,000 damage clause, which is completely reasonable. And also I can't afford that. But I had the thought, actually my dad had the thought, like, you should email the guy you work with, John Phippen at the Runoffs. He's like the voice of Mid-Ohio. He commentates all the events at Mid-Ohio trackside. And he's like the voice I grew up listening to and whatever. He's like, you should see if they'll have you commentate that weekend. So I texted John and he's like, yeah, come on up. We can get you in one of the booths around the track, or you can just be in the booth with me. So I think I'm going to hang out that whole weekend and then work track night Friday and like commentate with like the voice of my childhood at Mid-Ohio at one of the club races. And I'm so unreasonably excited. It's not a big opportunity, but it's like one of the coolest things I could think of. So I'm really excited about that.
I should do a B-Spec race.
If you can afford that. I mean, I'm not like, I'm terrified of the damage clause. Huh?
It's $3,000 for the whole weekend?
Yeah, that includes tires and trackside service and everything.
I mean, I could just take some recent coaching money and just go right into, but I don't know. It's a B-Spec. Never mind. I changed my mind.
You would have so much fun. There's actually like 12 cars entered already. There's a lot of cars too.
But this is going to be the quickest I've ever spent $3,000.
No, the part that I'm scared of is the damage clause. I don't, if there's a damage clause, I have never accepted a damage clause in any car I've ever driven.
Look, neither have I.
If I've driven someone's car and they were planning on charging me, I got away with one, but like, that's just like, I will not put myself in a financial state of burden for the sake of a rental or a car or whatever.
I hear you, but $15,000 could be a sold Miata and then I'm good. Like, I don't have to. So
yeah,
it would be basically the same as me crashing my Miata on track. And to me, that car is completely disposable.
Okay. Damn, rich.
No,
can't hide money.
No,
kidding,
it's
kidding,
just
kidding.
I'm willing to be broke. Woo!
Yeah. You would have fun. I've been missing club racing just from all the commentating I've been doing. I'm like, man, that looks fun. like
Hmm.
specifically the old like SCCA weekends that I used to get to do. Uh, but anyway, if you race, what if we make it like a Lizard Brains meetup? Get
How,
anyone who wants to come out, we could like hang out on the hill for the day.
how many races are there?
I think you get 2. I think it's 4 sessions with 2 races.
What if we split it?
Uh, only if you pay for it if I crash it.
Okay. We'll talk about this after. We'll talk about this after.
I will have plenty of fun commentating, so I don't need to do it.
I agree with you, but I'm thinking for like literally just for the podcast, that would be pretty fun. So
It would be fun.
That would be
Devin
fun.
you did say yes after I said that, or you said okay.
I don't know the context of my okay. I might have been okay
I know.
like in my own head, but okay, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe we do the smallest crowdfund for DJ and Tom to go race a B-Spec for the Lizard Brains podcast ever. Nope, you're not cashing in on that?
No, I burned my crowdfunding bridge.
I haven't burned mine.
You do it.
I haven't burned mine. Yes, a $3,000 GoFundMe.
No, you do the GoFundMe only if the car gets damaged.
Oh, okay.
And the guy did say that he has it built into the clause that other than parts, you can like pay off the damage by going and fixing it yourself.
Okay.
Like at his place with supervision.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the October 9, 10, 11 weekend, the OVR Autumn Classic plus a track night. If anybody wants to come, DM us or whatever. But it sounds like we'll both be working Friday and maybe be there for the weekend.
I don't know.
I'm
dreaming right now. Let's not hold anything to stone. But I'm thinking if we could find a way, like that would be I would really enjoy that next podcast episode.
Ken also has some ideas in the live chat here. Ken, I see that, but we'll chat. The other fun thing that popped up was I got connected through the SCCA road race guy, Eric Prill, to the development manager for Mazda Motorsports via email, kind of out of the blue. And he just wanted to chat on the phone. The guy name's Josh. And we chatted on the phone. He's like, so we've been, promoting SMX, the new NC Spec MX-5 car. And we have been obviously hearing your commentary on that class for the year. And we know you have like racing background and whatever. What would you think of racing one of our cars in one of these weekends?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like for a promotion to like tie the commentary driver person to like promote the class. Dude. And like have some more hands-on with it.
What? That's so
I was
cool.
like, holy, like something like that hasn't popped up in years for me. So I'm so excited. And I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know if it'll happen. He said that they would love for it to be the Barber Super Tour. The problem is I commentate that weekend, so I gotta like go back to SCCA and ask permission to race and screw around instead of commentate or like find it being covered.
Yeah,
we'll see. Otherwise, they have other test days and stuff. They said they need some brake testing. I immediately thought it was like that's DJ's job. DJ should go to the track and test MX-5 brakes.
Stuff. What's wrong with the Paggeds? I like the Paggeds they normally run on.
I think it's because of heat issues with other hardware, not the pad.
Oh, they're like gonna do like a kit or whatever. I bet they're blowing through seals all the time because I think they're still on like the OEM like single piston caliber. So
probably,
yeah.
I didn't ask a ton of information, but I'm super flattered that they reached out. I never share stuff like this before it did or is happening. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I feel like I was just excited. I was like, I want to tell DJ about this.
Anytime like stuff like this comes about, I feel like it's like a 10% hit rate. Like you'll have like 10 really cool, like people reach out to you and it's like, oh yeah, that would be cool. That like, let's do that. Let's figure out the details. And only like 10% of it like it actually ever happens. So yes, I also very rarely share it. I might share like, oh yeah, somebody reached out for that. But like, think about it, like all these things that I've been excited over the years, Tom, how many of it like actually happened? It's probably like a 10% hit rate. It's
very small, but I'm at the same time, I'm kind of at the point where like, you know what? Life's too short. Talk about it. Be excited. If it doesn't happen, I'll tell you about how it didn't happen later.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's what's interesting about this podcast is that we're kind of like sharing like our journey. So I'm sure the listeners appreciate you sharing something that has a 10% chance of happening.
Yeah, right. The last thing before we get into our topic, because we have a real topic today, is we have 2 things of promo to do. We have a sim race next Wednesday. We're calling it the King of the Curve. It's in iRacing, and we had the idea to have 3 different disciplines in one night: a sports car race, an open wheel race, and an oval race. And it's going to be streamed. Kyle Heyer seemed actually excited to stream it. He was like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it. So it's going to be on broadcast and everything. DJ is going to be racing. I'm going to be commentating. If you want to join, just in the Discord, be active and join that night. Not that super serious. And then we also have 2 new merch items out, and we have a sale coming up on our Spreadshirt shop with 20% off from July 13th to July 17th. So there's now 2 extra designs. One of them is DJ's. Can you give us a
ding it?
Yep. Dang it shirt. And then we had, what was the other one? Oh, the ego button. We talked about that probably 2 years ago with
It's
Ito
done.
about having
It's done.
a little
Look,
button.
Guys, it was in the smelter or whatever, the furnace. It was
Yeah.
getting forged. The idea was being slaved over. It's a 2-year cook time on this one. But it's finally out.
So there you go. You can go buy merch.
All right.
The nice part about the sales is it doesn't affect our margin. It is just cheaper for you. I recommend only buying when it's on sale.
And we'll do our best to let you know when it's on sale. And if you've been thinking about it, then yeah, go ahead and do it so we can take as much of Spreadshop's margin as possible.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's our merch supplier? So thanks, Spreadshop. All right.
Sponsored.
They're not a sponsor, but I think they run a really nice storefront for us. So I appreciate them for being a thing that exists. All right. You want to do our topic?
Yeah. Tell me how this popped up in your head, because you sent me a couple ideas.
Yeah. So I was doing a course walk with Dave Marcus, and he's like, I got some podcast ideas for you. And the idea that we're exploring first is when people try too hard, and kind of what, like, basically, if you've ever seen anybody in like grid or paddock or whatever, and they're just trying so hard, or like on course walks or like at the racetrack, they're trying so hard, it's almost at like the detriment of their actual performance. So like my first one, for example, is when I see somebody doing like 20 course walks, I'm like, at some point, this has to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just it's how many are you not remembering where to go? Like, what are we even looking at like some point? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, get off your feet, save some energy, like go eat some food, drink some water. Like at some point, like your course walks are like actually hurting your tomorrow's performance. But I get it, because people like effort equals results in some level, but at some point the effort like goes too far. So that's kind of like what we're talking about. Tom might have taken the topic a different way, but that's how I'm taking it.
I tried to think of it in a bunch of different ways, but I think the point of the topic for everything we talk about is things that you can use as a point of observation to then analyze and realize maybe if you're trying too hard in any of these ways.
Yep, that works for me.
Okay, so too many course walks is your number one. You don't think the person who'd fight you on this is Mark Daddio.
I know.
And I still haven't had the conversation with him in a really, really like nuts and bolts way about why he likes to walk the course so much. But he's my data point for it. Obviously doesn't hurt everybody. But I do think that defaulting to thinking that that's what you have to do for autocross is walk until you're blue in the face or you run out of time. That doesn't work for me either. Like, that's not the default go-to. That's like you realize over the years that your approach is walking all the time. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, it might be a crutch in some way. Like if you feel like you have to walk the course 15 times or whatever, then maybe instead of walking the course, we try to address some like other weakness, right? Like maybe, if you get extra performance out of these like into the double digit course walks, take that as a note that there's some other low hanging fruit other than your like memorization of where all the cones are.
Yeah, I try to only have it. I mean, we don't need to get into the nuts and bolts of a course walk, but I try to be strategic, and I do a analysis of the course layout in my brain, like a mental route through the space.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know. I only like if I can do a mental route through the space after one walk, that's great. And if I can do another walk and pick up a couple more details and just like really lock in on finding those exit cones or some like I just literally like stare down the place that I'm going to be thinking about or looking at while I walk.
Yeah.
And if I that the vague route through the course, I think is way more powerful to most people than knowing where every single thing is all the way through the entire thing.
Yeah, I like the route. You showed me that. Like, that makes a lot of sense. You literally just be like, "Yeah," and then we have a couple back and forths here, and then we, go over there, and then there's a degreasing whatever, and then, like, it's like wherever the cones are, that doesn't matter, like, for, like, the route exploration.
Yeah.
Um, and then the
And I
thing
cheat. I literally I watch I will stand on the side of the course and follow it with my eyes. Like I'm not even closed eyes trying to picture it. I'm literally just like, am I following the right route? Okay, it goes over there, it
Yeah,
goes over here, and it goes. It's like I'm getting lefts and rights down, and that's about it.
yeah. Kelsey says the vague route through the course, walk is my beer drinking course walk.
Yeah,
That's what
the
that's the
social
social
one.
walk. That's the social walk, yeah. And then for the not social walk, I'm trying to pick up on when I look at stuff is mostly so when I drive it in my head, I can because I'm still working on that. I worked on it a lot last year. It's not automatic yet. I want it to be more automatic where I use my like Tomo time when I'm kind of just driving there. I get to run my eyes through the course like as far as I can before Tomo time is up. And if you're not sure what Tomo time is up or is,
Tick,
then
tick, 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 tick.
check out one of our like after Lizard Brain school episodes. Um, and yeah, and then maybe the third one, I just like maybe just notice something else, and then after that, like I'm pretty good. If I walk it anymore after that, I'm just like hanging out with people, really.
Yep. Get your steps in.
Yeah, exactly.
I walk course for steps often at this point.
Yeah, I remember I walked with you at when you were doing F Street at Solo Nationals, and you like I think you only walked it once, and you were like, "Oh, I got it," and it was like, "Oh, you don't want to walk it again?" And you're like, "No, I think I got it," and I was like, "Okay," and then sure enough, the next day comes by, you had it. It was like first run was freaking like only like a tenth faster than like your fastest run, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep.
So like,
But
yeah, you had it.
to be fair, that was Thursday, so I'd watched 2 days straight of people driving those courses. I had a pretty good idea.
That's true.
It's like I just need to find a couple details and then but again, that's my style. So if your approach you've built into your autocross approach that you have to walk it 10 times and draw it on a map, I can't challenge anybody that that's wrong. I
Yeah,
just think that that's a sign you might be trying a little too hard.
a little too hard. Yeah.
The first one I thought of is trying to go faster without reference points, which
Mm,
this is the broadest one, but this can apply to autocross and track driving both. If you're just trying to go faster and you think I just need to try to go faster, I think that's a really bad thought. I need to go faster there without a a breakdown of why. And that's obviously the easiest thing is like a brake reference. I want to brake later, but you don't know where you're braking. Okay, let's think about this. Why do you think you need to brake later? Let's like you need to have like a really good you need to sell the case to yourself basically.
yeah.
Or if you can't sell it to yourself, talk to someone else about it, talk to a coach, talk to someone more experienced and make sure that you're making the right case for going faster. Um because just trying to go faster and this can manifest in a bunch of ways we'll talk about I think is where some people go wrong. And when I think about autocross, the first one is that they get on the throttle too early because they know maybe you've overslowed, maybe you
Yeah.
know that the course opens up after this. It's just time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. But you still have a ton of steering angle in the car. You still are like the car's underneath you. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, but I have to go faster now. I need to go
Yeah.
faster. So you feed the throttle. I feel that all the time when I ride with people, and it's like, oh, you were so close. If you had given it just like
Just wait, just a
a
second.
thou
Just a
10 thousandths more or whatever
yeah.
that you just a little bit, and then you would have been able to go, but you wanted to go faster because your gut told you it's time to go faster,
Yep.
and you hadn't made the case really for it.
Yeah.
I think that there is a good and bad way to have this thought though, because if you have made the case, and you can think back to my autocross nationals recap from last year when I drove the Lotus. After my 2 runs, I was realizing that there were places I could literally just go faster but that had data behind it. I had made the case really in my brain. Like I know that the car will go faster through those. And in that case, I didn't need to think about reference points much. I didn't need to think about like how I'm going to do it. That one did rely on Butt Dyno to just quote unquote go faster. You guys all gave me shit about it, but it worked.
it
And
works.
that's a really like I think that's a scientifically backed way to go faster, even though I did just try to go faster. That's a rare scenario though. Sorry, I'm rambling. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think well, I see that a lot where people are like they have this impatience of I need to go, and to them, like the throttle is how they go, right?
Yeah.
And to me, like if we just shift that focus of an impatience of I need to get this car pointed so then I can go. Like we just add like a
Ooh, I like
filter.
that.
We add a filter in between like actually getting on throttle, because the throttle doesn't go. It just like it accelerates, but it like if we can accelerate the pointing of the car, whether it's like using the brake or whatever, then we can actually go. So like if we just throw like this one layer in front of it, then we can use that like I need to go, I need to go, I need to go, and it can actually like be beneficial. But yeah, I see too often where it's hit the brakes, turn in, we're on neither of the pedals, and we get into the throttle like a split second too early, and it just delays the actual leaving of the corner. And these things add up over the course of the entire run. And this is like the poor execution on that is like the last like 2 seconds, 1 second, whatever, depending on like your, the gradient that you're messing this up in. That's separating you from the times where you go, whoa, how did that happen? That's how, because they're not delaying the exit with this like incessant need to touch the throttle before you're actually ready to leave.
Yep. I love that. Urgency to get the car pointed, not urgency to get back to throttle. That's such a good mantra.
T-shirt.
License that one. I think I said like the road course, of course, trying to brake later when you like either you're braking at the 2 or you think you can brake later, whatever. If you put a brake marker to it, doesn't really matter. I think that's the first place people try to go faster is just brake later.
Yeah.
The other thing I see on track a ton is like target fixation / like trying to follow someone / keep up with them.
Yeah.
And then that's like, I'm just going to go faster to keep up with them. Or I'm like following this person. I want to keep up with them. It can kind of work opposite where they're behind you and you see they're maybe catching you or a little like you want to stay in front. So you just try to go faster.
Yep.
But that's the immediate first, if you're trying too hard, you're just trying to go faster without the fundamentals, whatever word you want to put to that.
I find myself falling into that sometimes, but like I at this point I like catch myself. I'm like, whoa, hold on, that's not how like going faster works. Like I can't just like want to go faster more. Like that's not actually like, oh, I just didn't want to go faster hard enough. Like no, that's literally not how it works. It's you have to clean up the execution of individual elements in each corner, part of the course, whatever. The execution has to be cleaner, has to be more accurate, right? That's how we go faster. So noticing if it's like, when I brake here, I kind of have to get out of the brakes a little bit earlier. I'm going to drag the nose of the car through the grass. It's like, well, in that case, we can brake a little bit later. But we took that, like what Tom was saying, that like the, quote unquote scientific approach, like with like this direct observation. It's like a if this then that statement. We're not just trying it because we want to go faster. We're trying it because things have indicated that will net a better execution of that corner or the element or whatever. So.
Yes. I'm reading, Anthony, what do you mean it's important to separate that from a novice? While you type that, the last thing, by the way, Taylor Wargo in the Discord of when you asked this question, I think we could have literally just stolen his bullet list and made it this topic because he nailed every single part of it. But he made a really good point there when he said trying to brake too late is a sign that you're trying too hard, but also turning in too early, which is so true because you think like the combination of when you're carrying more speed into the corner than you can actually do. To be able to extend the opportunity to like make the corner, you tend to turn in early. To give yourself more time to like then figure out the exit. Maybe some people will trend towards like they just wait to turn in until they can, but most people will turn in too early if they're trying too hard. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah. I like the braking. I feel like that is like a go-to without like any kind of like evidence that like you're just braking too hard. I see that also like people like literally input more, if that makes sense. Like they'll push the throttle into the firewall harder. They'll push the brake into ABS more. Like they'll just like try harder with like muscle. And the car doesn't care how strong you are.
No.
So, kind of a little bit of a change of gear of one if you're done with
Yeah.
no references. Okay. Lithium ion batteries. I think y'all trying too hard. I've
What the
seen
hell does that mean?
when people put lithium batteries in, like instead of like a glass mat or you're trying too hard. Like, look, I know it saves like 20, 30 pounds, but I've seen 3 different cars burn down at tracks, and I've seen a lot of autocross runs not happen because the battery fails. And like, I would rather have the 30 pounds and know that like my car's never going to, 1, burn down to the ground, and 2, just like conk out right as I'm pulling up to the line, like ready to compete. I would rather lose by a couple thousandths, like a couple times ever while I'm autocrossing than lose a single run due to lithium ion battery.
Okay. Yeah, you sold me on that.
Okay.
I don't know that I thought about car prep stuff very much. Are there any other car prep things that you think people are trying too hard?
Yes. When people bring their tires into the hotel room so they don't get cold overnight.
Okay.
That's a thing. People do that. Yeah, look, if you're guilty, you're trying too hard. Like, what are we doing? Just go for a drive or something before you pull in the grid. Like, we, like what? Like, think about like all the transport, and then like you put them on the car, and then yeah, look, you're trying too hard. If the tires go into the hotel, if your hotel room smells remotely like tire when you leave that place, you're trying too hard.
I like that one. I'm curious what people think of that. I mean, especially people in the north. I did write down there's some event stuff that I thought is a sign you're trying too hard.
Wait, say that again. I missed it. Sorry.
Like event related stuff, like not driving, but you're at the event and signs that you're trying too hard, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think my notes are a mess. I think missing flags and missing point buys.
Yep.
Massive sign you're trying too hard.
Massive sign. Yeah.
And that happens to everybody at every level. It's obviously more new driver focused, but you are trying way too hard to drive if you can't remember to look at flags and see your mirrors. The other thing is I kind of think there's an element of trying too hard to people who like they're scattered and they forget stuff between runs or they forget stuff between sessions.
Yep. Yeah.
And
so if you have too many steps in between each run, or you're doing this, or I got to do that, and then you like miss something crucial that's like basic because you're trying to do all this extra stuff. Like I see people with like dry ice and blowers, and like just go through the STH, which is like it's GST now. Sorry. Oh my God. Forgot that they named all these things different. It's like a bunch of like hot hatches on coilovers, basically. Go through that grid when they're running at nationals, and you just see dry ice and leaf blowers and all this stuff. And you know what? All that stuff's fine. Like I've been joking with Tamara that I'm going to like rig up a tire sprayer to a leaf blower, and we're going to shoot it through the front of her car just because I think it would be more funny than anything. But like, that's literally an example of me trying too hard. Like that's overkill. Like, what am I doing? I still think it's going to be funny. I'm going to do it, but like, and really, because I think it'd be funny if I saw other people doing it. Like after I'm like, yeah, I just like taped the sprayer open and I just pump it up after each run, and I like turn the leaf blower on.
I want to push back on you on that one a little bit because I feel like that's just gamesmanship that does have some science behind it.
Okay.
For example, when I had the NSX, when I had that NSX on loan and I was autocrossing it at the King of the Mountain, I did everything wrong for what that car needed. In the process of spraying tires to cool them down, the tires would stay way too hot anyway. So it was like literally every bit of every degree I could take the temp down was making the car faster, both on the tires, and the heat soak on the engine was so bad. And the battery recharge, when you shut the car off, it's not recharging. I was trying to think like, I'll shut the engine off, then the battery can recharge right before the run. But I should have left the car running so that the engine was cooling itself off and the battery was recharging itself, and then shut the car off. Like I basically had that whole thing backwards. Is it incredibly dorky and not cool? Yes, it's like so lame and like nerdy and it's really dumb, but it's the same as in iRacing when your tires cooled down in the grass. It's like that's a gamesmanship that genuinely does work and make you faster. So I will never shame anybody for icing their intakes and
Let
anything like that. I think
let me preface.
you're a little
Yeah,
judgmental on this
no.
one,
Hold on.
DJ.
Let me save some face here. If you're forgetting other stuff because you've added
Yes.
in so many of those things,
Yes.
then you're trying too hard.
That one I totally agree with. Like if you didn't even look at your video or think about the run and that because you're so fixated on
I'm messing
all those
with
other
the
things.
sprayer hooked to the leaf blower, then yeah, I'm trying too hard. But if
Yeah.
it's like a practice thing and it's like ready to go and it works flawlessly, and if it's not, I don't spend too much time on it and I focus on the stuff that's important. I'm trying the appropriate amount of hard.
Yep. The last one I had for event stuff, this is kind of driving related, but like anytime you go off, anytime you spin, and actually I would say anytime you have a long slide that takes like a significant amount of counter steer, that is an indicator immediately that you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
And if it happens more than once in like a short period of time, like you really need to check yourself, because
Yeah.
I just think that all those things are like, we've talked plenty about it in past episodes. I also think if you're watching somebody, this kind of ties back to this type of stuff. If you're doing stuff that you've watched other people do and it's part of your process because that's what other people do, but it's not necessarily natural to your part of the process, those are signs that you're maybe trying a little too hard as well. You know, like if I didn't think of great examples for this one, but you watch everybody else chalk the sidewall of their tires. This was a big thing 20 years ago in autocross. They would put chalk on the sidewalls to see how far the tire was rolling over.
Yep.
Crazy, diabolical behavior. But if you just see someone else do that and that becomes part of your process, that's not like part of the process that matters, first of all. But it's not part of a process that's natural to you, because what are you doing it for? You need to have your own process that's natural to you, is kind of what I thought about.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, yeah, you're like, oh, so and so is doing it, so like I should do it too. Unless you see Taylor Wargo here in the chat putting freaking bags of ice on his intake plenum on his SSC car, and you're like, dang, that's genius. I need to do that. But then he literally put in a comment right after, just to mess with everyone in grid, which I appreciate. I appreciate that. Like if you're doing some try hard stuff just to like kind of screw with people a little bit, I can appreciate that. I think that's kind of fun.
I think it is kind of funny. We used to get complaints at the go-kart track all the time about employees getting the best carts. If they noticed somebody was an employee or like a friend or a buddy or whatever, they would get the best carts. We had one that complained when the tires were getting older, sometimes they would, I don't know if this was from stretch or what, they would show like white marks on the sidewall of the tire.
Okay.
It's like kind of like stretch mark looking things, but I don't know if it was stretch marks. And one person left a review on Google that said they only give the carts with the white wall tires with the best grip to their favorite people or something like that. And we all had the idea like we should just get little spray bottles and like pretend to spray stuff on the tire and the engine and stuff just to mess with people.
I like that.
That would have been funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like bring a laptop over and then just like look like and like just take a USB cord and wedge
Plug
it
it in.
somewhere. Yeah. And then just be like, and then like exchange some thumbs up to each other and then pull the USB cord away and then like send them out. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a Briggs and Stratton like friggin' lawnmower engine on this go-kart. But people will be like, "Yeah, they uploaded the good tune on that car."
You got the flash, stage 3.
Oh, I like that.
Like the classic mechanic, the driver asks for something to be better and he just clangs the wrench around in the trunk. Clank, 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 clank. All right, it's better. Go
Yep,
for it.
Go for it. Enjoy. I like
Another
that.
one that I thought of, and Taylor also hit on it as well. Good job, Taylor. Is losing track of, so driving the car at the limit becomes the priority at the expense of precision or placement. And I think this is probably more of an autocross thing, although I do think you can fall a trap with this with road course driving as well. Your goal becomes to keep the car at the lateral or longitudinal limit so much, the tire, the physics of the car, you're driving the car hard at the expense of, let's say, urgency to get the car pointed to where you actually want to go, or you're moving within a car width and a half side to side rather than like kind of driving within the car width of the car. And yes, you're driving fast, you're driving hard, and you might be driving very well, but are you using that to the advantage of the task at hand, whether it's the certain element, certain course, a certain track? I remember talking to you about this at Chicago when we drove the SSC car together. I remember watching you. You were within like a car width plus a tire width on either end of the car, and I asked if you felt that, and I remember at the time you kind of said no, But I also don't think you drive like that very often now, and I did see that more at the time. Do you feel that at all? Am I calling you out in a weird way?
No, I don't think you're
I
calling
just
me out in a
remember
weird
observing
way.
that.
No,
Okay.
I remember you saying something at Chicago that I think I initially thought I was like, "What? No, I'm not doing that." And then I thought about it and I was like, "Ah, shit, Tom's right." Which is like basically how me and Tom operate with each other. I'll point something out for Tom and Tom's like, "No, no, no, no." And then like later he'll be like, "Yeah, that was right." And it's the same
Yeah.
thing this way. So it's like we're over here being humans. So we're not perfect and we don't like always accept criticism. Um but yeah, I remember like fighting you on it initially and then being like, "Oh, okay, I kind of see what he's saying. He does have a point here." Do you remember exactly what you said though? Because I don't remember the specifics of it.
I don't remember how I said it, what I said. I remember at the time thinking that you were trying to drive, like, the cornering load of the car so much that you were losing efficiency in, like, acceleration zones or, like, distance, cutting distance mainly.
Yes, that's what it was. So
Yeah,
yeah, I was trying to maximize every tire at every moment to the point where it was making me like I was just having arcs that weren't necessary. Like
correct.
yeah, the car was optimized, cool, but like why? Like if my goal was to have the car optimized, I did a great job. But if my goal was to set a fast time, I lost the plot at some point, right?
Sure.
And that was that I remember now. That was my takeaway is that like having the car optimized is a good indicator that you're doing a good job, but we have to keep like the overall goal of the timer at play in our heads and you have to go like, cool, I had the car optimized, but did I get to this point from this point like as fast as I could have? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from it. And I was like, okay, yep, Tom's onto something here. I need to like clean that up.
I think that's not a novice concept. Back to Anthony's point. I actually forgot to read what he said. Novice related. Something, oh, you guys chatted a lot. It's true for you, but it's important to separate that from a novice. They just need to want to drive faster a lot of the time. But if you're already at the limit, it becomes more nuanced. Yeah, perfectly
Yep.
said. So what we're talking about right now is you're driving the car at the limit, but you're not necessarily using it to go as fast as possible. Yeah, definitely not a novice concept with like getting towards the limit. I wrote more stuff. Do you have anything else on your list?
Yeah, people who
Keep
run
going.
the RE71 RZ tire stickers on the front fenders, uh, because even though there's no contingency, why? What are we doing?
You can thank all of our friends at Bridgestone USA for that. They walk around, hand them out. You can put them on the car if you want to. Friendly smile.
Yeah,
Or they just put them on your car.
it's Raul says, "Is it a crime to be a fan?" No, I guess. Okay, I guess, but like, uh, here's where I'm at. Tire contingency used to be a very healthy part of the sport, and tire manufacturers have kind of moved away from it. So if they
I think
want,
support for competitors in any capacity has diminished in every capacity.
yeah, except like Mazda. So like I'm wearing their shirt. Thanks to Mazda for doing. They still pay out for autocross wins and stuff.
Not
Um,
like they used to.
and then Falcon still like supports like SSC and I think CSX. Um, or maybe it's just SSC. But like that's basically it. Hoosier will give you like half off on tires. Um, essentially, I know there's like it's a little bit more complicated than that, but basically you get like half off Hoosiers if you're winning. So, uh, like the perk that they got is that they would get all these pictures with like their tire sticker on the car, and they could like use that for their like marketing material, or you know. You could go to the local with your like national stickered up car, and all the novices go like, "Oh, look, he had those tires on his car." That's the perk of like the stickers. Like that's part of like the selling point. If they have no contingency, then like why run the stickers?
I think stickers look cool.
Okay, fine.
My first
Do
autocross
whatever.
car had all the stickers on it
Okay.
for no reason.
Well, then put stickers of things of like your friends and like stuff that like you think is. I guess if you think the tire's cool, then put the freaking tire sticker on. Whatever. But y'all trying too hard with the tire stickers.
I like that one. Okay. Um, I did write down taking too big of bites, trying to fix all the things at once. You know,
Yeah.
it could be for both, but track and autocross. But this also ties into sort of trying to memorize. I think that's like all everything all everything all at once too much. What am I trying to say? I don't even know. I'm having a stroke. But basically trying to like if you have a run, say you had your run from this event where everything went wrong and you go through it and you're like, I have to fix that. 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 And if I don't fix this also, then I'm not going to be as fast as I need to be.
Yeah, no, that
That's
doesn't
like
work.
you're trying way too hard to do too many things. That's not, like no one can do that all at once.
No, can't.
So
in
to me, that's
that
too big of a
example,
bite.
that
What?
example, I just wanted to not completely flub the wet spots and then the rest of the course, whatever. Like that's literally, I was just like, there's 2
Perfect.
wet spots. I'm going to execute on those things and then the rest of the course, whatever. And like, cause that is a bite-sized bite that I was actually
Yeah.
able to go into.
Perfect. That's that to me is the right approach to lowest hanging fruit. And even if you're wrong, who cares? Whatever. You're going to get better at identifying the low hanging fruit over time.
You will, yeah.
Even if you pick the highest hanging fruit and you do that one thing better and you don't think about the rest, I do think you will drive better in all the other places naturally. Especially, I mean, if you're experienced for sure, but if you're learning, still likely because you're not putting too much pressure on yourself to do all the things at once,
Yep. I agree.
all the changes at once, I should say.
I
Go
have
ahead.
one more. How many more do you have?
I
Uh-oh.
think 2.
2? Okay.
I think 2.
Why don't you do another one? And then I kind of wanted to end on mine because it's just an opportunity for me to make fun of Peter. That's like that's all the
Okay, I'll
reason
do mine
it
too.
exists.
Okay, so changing the car without a goal or an A/B test. You're thinking about it too much. You're trying too hard, probably.
Yep.
Meaning if you don't know what you want, but you want to find out if there's a way to make it better, it has to be an A/B test, in my opinion. Make the one change, make another change, test it back to back, understand both, and go with the one that's better. If you kind of get it and you kind of know your car, you kind of know the tools you can use, you're pretty good at this. Like, here's what I think I want to change, but you change the one thing and you like process it out and you have a goal because you understand the physics at play and the nuts and bolts and what your goal is. But if you ever find yourself asking, what can I change on my car to make it faster? And then there's no there's no further reflection other than like, I want to change the car to make it faster.
Yeah.
You're trying too hard, I think.
Yeah, that's trying too hard in the wrong direction at least.
Yep. And then the funny ones I thought of were chalking tires. And I also think it's kind of funny for people who buy like brand new tires regularly for track days.
Oh, for track days, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's trying
Guys,
too hard.
yeah, that's
That's a little funny. Like, I don't want to shame
look,
anybody.
unless
For
we're
like,
doing
they're fine, whatever.
yeah, unless we're using the track day to like do some tire testing or something, then like what are we should just be there with takeoffs. Like run
Yeah.
run those things to the course unless it looks like it's gonna rain and you need some tread or whatever, then okay, maybe we'll make an exception. And only because you're gonna go out there and party in the rain, right? That's why we're making the exception, is because like you're being a true lizard by going out in the racetrack in the rain. But besides that, yeah, like can you imagine like running a set of tires and then like taking them off the car and selling them and then buying another set for like your next track day? For what? What lap time are we like going for? Like I don't like if you're chasing a lap time, then go do some like time trial or like time attack or something. Like go do something where the time actually matters.
Yeah. I wrote down a couple things that are not trying too hard, but might seem like it as well. I forgot I wrote these on the back of my notes. I think going out of your way to have video or data, that might seem like trying too hard. It is never trying too hard to make sure that you have that. Rotating tires, I think that's a wildly underdone thing in the motorsports world, especially on track.
Yeah.
That you should basically be rotating your tires, I think, session by session to keep wear off of whatever one's getting worn the heaviest.
Yep.
And then working out if you're in competition, like working hard to make sure that your minimum weight and your fuel levels are optimal. I think that comes off as try hard, but that's kind of like back to the gamesmanship. Like I don't think it's lame to try to get within 10 pounds of your minimum weight versus 50.
Yeah. Is this in conflict with the lithium ion battery?
A little bit. But that one, yours is backed up with good like reasons why not to.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. I will take a car that makes the run and is 20 pounds heavier, makes the lap, finishes the session, whatever,
Yeah.
versus not, and doesn't burn to the ground.
Yeah. The burning down to the ground thing. At least look, at least on like a track. Look, and all these cars that I saw burned down on the ground were like freaking track days. Like, what? That's trying too hard. Like, because there's no minimum weight at a track day. Like, just have a regular battery and have your car not burn
Right.
down to the ground. Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
All
All
right.
right.
My last
Tell
one.
me about Peter.
All right. So if you accidentally put an extra 2 gallons of gas in your car and then you go around and drive in the middle of the night before day 2 at Solo Nationals, you're trying too hard. Just run the gas. It doesn't matter. It's 16
That's the
pounds.
opposite of what I just said.
I know, but like at the own detriment. If you have to drive around in the middle of the night to get the gas out of the car, look, I'm telling you, an extra like hour, 2 hours of sleep is going to be worth way more than 16 pounds coming out of the car. We have to weigh the options. Like, would we take the 16 pounds out of the car if we could? Yeah, sure, we would. Would I lose 2 hours of sleep over it? Absolutely not. I would get that sleep 100% of the time.
I like that. I think that ties perfectly to the last two things that Taylor put on his list that I don't think we thought of. Losing sight of what makes a fun and successful event.
Yep, I agree with that.
Anything including, opposite of what you just said about sleep, but like I have never made decisions at events based on not having fun or having fun. I make decisions to hang out at the end. I don't give myself a bedtime or a curfew or a like I can't drink. I got to drive tomorrow. Like I'm going to have the beer. I'm going to hang out with my friends. I'm going to stay up because that's part of what makes the event fun for me. And I think his point of losing sight of things that can make things fun, whether it's social, whether it's the way the driving, whatever, great point. And then not having fun with the process was his other point. So if those two things aren't present at your event, you might be trying too hard.
Yep. All right. So
What do you think? Did we accomplish the topic? Should we send it to Dave Marcus and see how we did?
I think Dave Marcus would be happy with that. So thanks, Dave. And if anybody else has like topic ideas, like please reach out and we'll put it together. We'll throw our brains at it and come up with something that hopefully helps people. So all of you guys with lithium ion batteries, you're trying too hard.
We make fun of you. A DJ will mock you and judge you.
I will. And then I will just keep my fingers crossed that your car doesn't burn down to the ground.
Yep.
So, all right. Do you want to answer like an email or two?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me play the jingle. Emails. All right. We have. I'm looking for it. I have lost track of. Oh, here it is. I had to scroll up. Is there any question in particular that you're hunting for here, Tom?
I like Liam's.
Okay, go ahead.
Liam asked, what advice would you give to someone designing their first autocross course? I'll be the event chair for my local club at the next event, and as the event chair, I get to help design and set up the course. I have a satellite image of the lot. I've been playing with some designs using that as a reference. What are some important fundamentals I should keep in mind? I love designing courses. This is part of stuff like motorsports. I think I weirdly enjoy more than most people. I don't like you could do your entire autocross career and not care about ever designing a course. I'm pretty sure. I was chomping at the bit when I learned that someone gets to design it. Like, I want to do that. That sounds so fun. For me, the best advice, I think of two things. Having a satellite image is great. Having the measurements is great to give some, like, you can work it, but you can work like the math of it and the measurements and everything. But I think just planning a route through the site and less is more. I always design a little bit too much like a little too busy, a little bit too many things, not enough downtime. That's definitely a trend that I fall into. And I think trying to plan element by element is way harder than like plan a route through the course and then build something around it. And then if you really want to get advanced, something that I like to do is think about like, what's the car going to feel like, or what do I want to create for people to drive? Like, do I want to create a moment where the car is in this state and the challenge is to like still make the next thing and link these two together? Like, there are times where I think of that, but it's literally like, I think I just planned the route through this place, through the space, and then less is more. Like, people are always happy with shorter runs, higher speeds, less busy, less cones to hit. That's
The
like
so,
5 pounds of 10 pounds of shit in a 5 pound bag kind of course design.
yeah, I think the most common thing I see with like more like beginner course designers is too many cones. It should almost be like each series of cones is like the next place to go with the route. So if there's gates or cones or stuff that's like not affecting the route, then get rid of those gates and cones, and like they don't need to be there. Um, just have the cones in the places that affect what you wanted the initial route to be. And then the other thing I was thinking that might not necessarily help Liam, but if you're like going to design a course at some point, try to take note when you drive something that's particularly fun on a course, like why? Why was it fun? And what
Yep.
created that like that scenario that made it fun? And maybe you could like recreate that on some other course that you make at one point. For
Totally.
instance, there was this gigantic decreasing radius turn at a Cleveland local that if I ever designed a course would have this like huge fast like decrease. It was like top a second and it decreased so slowly to the point where like it was a lift the whole way down to have the car optimized, and the car like was like really well balanced through the whole thing. It felt great. And I don't know if they did that on purpose, but the happy accident that made that element, I'm like, if I ever make a course, like I'm going to have this like huge, maybe at the detriment of the rest of the course. But like this huge, like decreasing radius sweeper where it decreases at a rate that like to keep the weight on the nose, it has to be like this super long lift into it. And it was like oddly satisfying.
Yeah. Can I tell you 2 course design stories that came to mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
I used to Live for Speed for designing courses. They have like a big expanse of pavement in that game, and I built this like 25 by 25 foot grid in the game with like the chalk object you could paint. Anyway, so when I designed one of the first courses I did, I had just bought my B spec car. So it wasn't one of my first courses actually, but I had just bought my B spec car and I knew I was racing it. And I tried to figure out like what road course can I fake into an autocross course so that I can test my B spec car at an autocross, but like it's a road race. And I ended up coming up with Pit Race's short course, the first 4 corners where you go like
Oh
left,
yeah.
quickly right, and then like bend right, and then you go 90 right again.
Yeah.
I literally copied that from Google Maps. I copied it over to at the time we had this Wilmington airport lot that was massive, like Lincoln size massive. I put it over top, and then I designed elements of the course around that sequence of corners on the road course. And then when I got to the event, I set everything up and I told them like, just I'm going to be DNFing, like I'm going to be skipping stuff or whatever. And I drove the course that I wanted to drive to make it the road course while everyone else did the autocross version of it.
That's funny.
It worked really well. And then the other one was I did the course for one of those Wilmington tours, and I mean there was so much space. I built a like 80-second course, and I wasn't there. It was my first pro racing weekend, so someone else set it up, and I built this really cool arrhythmic slalom that was like a 1-2-2 1-2-2 1-2-2. You go to different sides of like arrhythmic type thing. They put all the pointers backwards, and they made a straightaway. So I started getting messages from people the first day, the first runs. I'm at my pro race, and I'm starting to get messages like, "This course is crazy, like unbelievable, like it's so hard, it's so long." And
Wait,
then it ends
did
with
they
like
put
a
the pointers-
90-mile-an-hour run
Did they,
to the finish.
they
Just
did the
top
pointers
speed.
wrong the entire course, not just the end?
No, just that arrhythmic slalom.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa,
So-
that'd be such a weird like brain. I'm trying to imagine a course that I've driven with all the pointers in the other direction. Like what even would that course be?
Right. That would actually be pretty funny if they did do that. No, it's just this section. I guarantee you there are many people listening to this episode who remember that course and think that I still like designed something crazy, but it was just that mistake. So then the next day they were like, it was just too hard, too long, too much. They cut a third of the course off, and it was still like a 60-second course for the day 2. And I was really offended. I was like, I worked hard on all that. I want
Yeah.
it to be long and hard. What do we trying to make it easy for?
Yeah.
But that's when I learned maybe I do a little too much.
You know what? One of the best courses I've ever driven, I think, was Alex Jones Nationals 2022, I think. And it was like a mid 70s second course on the plane side, and I wish I could get some more runs on that course because like it was great. It was like imagine like the sample platter at Applebee's, but autocross form. It was literally
Okay, nice.
it was the whole menu. It was the whole menu, and you got a little bite of all of it. And it was like every autocross element you've ever seen, and then there's slight variations all in one course. And I just loved it because it was like a combination of all the things I've learned over the years. And I got to like put it together all on one course. And I'd be like, oh, this is like that one time. Oh, this is like that other time. And it's like I was seeing all these elements that I've seen before, but they were all combined into like one thing. And I thought it was super cool.
That is cool. I think there's two things that come to mind with this. There's these compliments or something that can say something to you that is kind of a throwaway comment, but it becomes like a massive compliment. And it's when someone likes your music or a song you're playing. Like you get that, like you're just playing a song and someone goes, "Hey, what song is this?" And you can
Yeah.
see they pull out their phone and they look it up and save it. That I love that feeling, and I love it's exactly the same feeling when someone walks up and they're like, "This course is awesome. I love this course. Or, you did a great job with this course." Whatever. When you get to design it,
Yeah.
it's like
Mm.
such a personal win validation moment. It makes you feel
Dang.
good.
Maybe I should design a course some point.
Yeah, you got to try it once.
Mm, probably
Anyway,
not.
Liam, to oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Probably not a national event. I'll do a local first.
Definitely start with a local.
Yes. Yes.
Liam, to your what I would do with your spot, you know, the course space you have, I would take the aerial map, I would draw my route through it from the start point to the finish point, and then I would just start filling in whatever cones you want around that line. The line the car is going to drive through the route of the map or the space, and then just draw cones around them. And good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And good luck. Yep. I kind of have to do some prep for some coaching, Tom. So I think that might be it for the episode.
Sure. What are you doing this
Uh,
weekend?
I am going to a Northwestern Ohio region event on Sunday to do some more autocrossing because that's what season it is for DJ. Is I drive around a bunch of cones right now, which is great. I'm loving it. And on Saturday, I'm not doing anything. I might actually like work on Saturday, which is
Ride your new bike.
Oh yeah, I took the mountain bike out, Tom.
I saw that. How is it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I didn't realize how much of a difference. So I used to have like an entry level mountain bike and had like tubed tires, which is like how most bikes are. They have, tire tubes, and you like hit a curb or whatever, and then you get a flat tire, right? This is the first bike I've ever rode on with tubeless tires. And oh my God, what a difference of like the amount of grip you have on the trail. Like the speed I was able to confidently carry through stuff was so much higher than I've ever been used to on a bike before. It felt more intense than I thought it could feel. Like the forces on dirt on a bicycle was like more than I expected, and it was super cool and fun. And Adam from Shed Built, like I'm so grateful to Adam because he hooked it up. So because he reached out and he's like, I can help you find a bike, and he found me one, and he did like a full restore on it, and he sent me a bunch of gear. He sent me these like this weird looking singlet. So like if you look up a wrestling singlet, but it's for like mountain bike riding, and then obviously I put like clothes on top of it. I would look freaking ridiculous, Tom. But it has like a baboon butt like padding on it.
Okay.
Oh my God, no soreness after riding. I feel like I should have had this a while ago. And we talked about like, the first time you jump on a bike after a while, like you have like whatever like bone that the is in your hip that sits on the seat. Normally you have like a bunch of soreness and stuff there. Nothing. It was great. It was
Nice.
so good. But yeah, I had a ton of fun. I breathed heavy with my heart rate at 160 beats per minute, like on average, for 35 minutes, and I only felt tired like twice. And the rest of the time, I just was having a blast. So it's literally doing its job.
Super cool. That sounds so fun. Be safe.
It was. I only clanked my pedal into the ground once, but the bike held onto it, so it's all good.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm racing the Zenith Endurance Series at Road America.
Ooh, Ooh, that's fun.
with Camburn Performance. So I leave what's today? Yeah, I leave tomorrow. And then we have practice and qualifying Friday, and then I think a 7-hour race, 2 7-hour races, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know who I'm co-driving with. All I heard was a couple of renters, and I'm driving the slower of the 2 cars. So it's a Ginetta G56 GT4 car.
All right.
And I think that means it's probably detuned to be in the class. I do have to say I have my first complaint with this. I'll have a full review so far of this series next week. But
Okay.
my first complaint, the classes are ZP2, ZR2, ZR3, and ZR4.
What's
So
up
they
with
don't even
this-
have a 1, and 2 of them are Z. There's literally like the stick of the R difference to
What's
make
the
it
difference-
a P.
What's
And
the
I'm like, what are these classes? This makes no sense. Terrible thoughts.
What's the difference between like, I mean, are they all just sports cars, or is there prototypes? Is ZP a prototype?
He is prototype. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
power to weight. So the ZP one, ZP2 is designed for those like NASA NPO1
Yep.
single seat prototypes, and then the rest there's like a GT4-ish class. There's like a
They got-
it's like
got buckets.
GP1 and GP2. Yeah,
They got buckets to grab like popular endurance racing cars.
yeah. But I think the slowest class is like GLTC power to weight, and then I think the next one is GLGT-ish,
Okay.
somewhere in the middle maybe, and then there's like a full-on GT4 class, and then there's the prototypes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of a fast class. I mean, it seems so far to me like the closest to IMSA pro racing level stuff, even more so than WRL. But I'll have a full review next week. I'm sure people
Okay.
will be interested.
Do you know what the numbers look like? Because I know this series just started, so I'm just curious like how many people they got. I know you sent me a screenshot actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, and it seemed like there's going to be a decent amount of people there.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's there's at least 10 cars in every class, I would say. Maybe 30 cars total.
Okay.
I don't feel like counting it right now. Unfortunately, we're not in the same class. The winning Formula guys are doing one of their C8s, that same one that Aaron raced in GLTC.
Yeah.
Andy Smedegard and Emil Tab and Aaron are racing that, but they're racing it in the slowest class, the most detuned they can get it.
SCA car.
So I can't wait to blow their doors off.
Yeah, but I almost wanted to say they're trying too hard, but nope, that's gamemanship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just to make sure the car makes it through the whole weekend.
Yeah,
and
that
have
too.
fun.
Also, like probably like fuel tank and stuff. How about big is a fuel tank in a C8 Corvette?
I thought I should know this because I just helped Dallas fill it up once. It's close to 20. It's like 18-ish.
Okay, all right. That's actually pretty good. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
all right.
It'll be fun to race.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it, Tom. You ready to end?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And Tom will take us hold on. Yes, Tom will take us out.
So always remember, there are no tough times, but tough people always last. Love your hair. Hope you win.